So roughly a week ago, maybe a little less than that, Aaron Derfel broke a story about a report that the MUHC is about to release and hasn't yet released, but it's going to be happening anytime soon, outlining an issue with systemic racism at MUHC institutions. And we thought, okay, that's the end of the story. We talked about it at the time. We'll see how they address it when they release this publicly and where it goes from there. But in the interim, Aaron, you've got another story now talking about something that was not part of the original conversation, and that's apparently, from what this report, the information you found out shows, concerns sexism and homophobia and transphobia at the MUHC. So fill us in. What did you discover here?
Yeah, so Aaron, the big surprise here is that they found sexism. One would think that in this day and age, this issue of sexual harassment and barriers to promotion because of sexism, that it would really be a non-issue, but it does exist at the MUHC, not only at the MUHC. And you'll recall that it was the McGill University Health Center that commissioned this report in the wake of the death of George Floyd, the black man in the United States, by a white officer. And clearly, these revelations about sexism sort of spring from, I guess, the Me Too movement as well. So it is, when I was looking at this, I was quite surprised. And some of these testimonials were quite shocking. These are survey participants and those who were interviewed, more than, I think it was 40 people who had been interviewed. So that was a bit of a surprise. And I could share with your listeners some of the comments, if you will allow me.
Well, I'm looking at one of them, Aaron, that simply says, according to this report, one adult employee recalls being told by someone, "Listen, little girl," and in another instance, a staffer complained, and I'm quoting from your article, "I don't know why they keep hiring more women to be in charge here." That's a direct quote. Yes,
so that was a bit of a surprise. Now, the MUHC has promoted a number of women in key positions. The executive director, the associate executive director, Martin Alfonso, is one such example. But I just want to share yet another comment from one of the female patients. She said, with a follow-up with a doctor, when he asked about my sexual history, I replied that I was not active. He was flustered and made an inappropriate sexual comment that I was, quote, aging like a fine wine. And then he commented that he should not have said that as a Catholic. So, these comments, which in the past, I don't know, in the 1950s, women would tolerate it. In light of the Me Too movement, there's this raising of awareness. So yes, this is a serious issue, and part of the awareness also includes the LGBT plus community and members of those communities saying that the doctors don't understand their needs. So it's eye-opening, and it's long overdue in my opinion.
So we know with the original, or last time we spoke to you, the recommendation was that they create a position to kind of tackle this, and as well as a task force, I believe. What are the recommendations specifically about this? Is it along the same lines?
I think it's along the same lines. First it's just laying this bare, raising awareness in the public, and then there's this equity. They're calling for the establishment of or the appointment of an equity, diversity and inclusiveness officer, and a way for staff and patients to safely and I guess anonymously report incidents. The MUHC does have an ombudsperson out in Casgrain, but a number of observers have said that perhaps she's too close to the MUHC and is not fully neutral. The two people who are behind this report, Dr. Anita Brown-Johnson, who's Chief of Family Medicine, and Sita Ramdas, who is an MUHC board member, they're women of color, and they've taken it very seriously. And I guess they want their voices heard as well as those of many other, racialized communities.
I'm looking at all the things that you've highlighted in this article, and I must admit all of it is shocking, but I'm surprised especially about the woman who had just given birth and was passed over for a promotion. That one, for some reason, surprises me. Tell us about that one, Aaron.
Yes, so someone, it's almost as if, and we've probably heard of this, we all know of cases like this, but for this to be expressed in this report is documented is very important. That this is a woman who was planning a maternity leave, but had been denied a promotion because of that leave, because the supervisor knew of that leave, and so that surprised me as well, that this was documented. And I'm just looking at some other comments, inappropriate sexual sexist remarks by Supervisor MD, and then it's in French here, verbal sexual microaggressions, sexually suggestive comments. Another person said that she was sexually harassed.
It's awful.
Said,
it's pretty.
Does this, not to cut you off, Aaron, but does it lead you, because it's leading me to believe that there was a culture, that this is pervasive, and that this was not only tolerated but just normalized in that environment?
Yes, precisely. And again, I don't want to single out the McGill University Health Center as the only institution where this has been allowed to take place. I think the MUHC has displayed institutional courage in commissioning the report. I'm sure that if other institutions carried out similar exercises, they would have discovered the same thing. What's surprising to me is that, precisely as you said, Natasha, that it's been normalized, or we think there's been progress, but then when you shine the spotlight on this, it still exists, despite the professed progress that's made with regard to gender relations in the workplace.
I should point out, so with respect to, how wide-ranging this is, the study itself, they talked to roughly how many people here, Aaron?
It keeps growing, but I would say between 1,100 to 1,400.
Whoa. That's a big sample.
And then of that number, of the participants, I think it was nearly 6% had either witnessed or experienced incidents of sexism and or sexual harassment. So again, the people, it's depending on how you view it, that whether the glass is half full or half empty. Some people will say, oh, well, that's a very low percentage, so that's evidence that there isn't sexism. But then there others will say one incident or one, flagrant example of sexual harassment is one too many. So, at least this is out there. It's kicking off a conversation. The MUHC will be holding a public meeting on September 23rd. I'm sure that a lot of people will attend that meeting, and then action will have to be taken afterwards.
Yeah, and they've, up until that time, there's no comment directly from them, right?
Yeah, so I find that kind of troubling initially. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I got some type of comment, but then the MUHC has fallen silent. I know there are other journalists who've tried to reach the MUHC, and the line has been that, this report is just that was leaked to me. It's a draft version and could change. That's a suggestion, but it's nearly completed. What I received was 91 pages. And if anything, what's going to be added to the report from now until September 23rd, there'll probably be more damning revelations.
Again, as we always say, whenever we have a chance to chat, first of all, congratulations, good work on digging this thing up. And obviously, when this does get addressed, when it becomes public, we're going to be hearing a lot more about it. And I'm sure we'll check in with you then to have the MUHC corroborate what's in here. It's going to be a very interesting time. That's going to be quite a meeting. Aaron, thank you so much. Appreciate it.
My pleasure. Once
Take
again.
good care. Aaron Derfel, Montreal Gazette reporter on that bombshell out of the MUHC.
He does such important work.